You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph, Helping Hurting People, Part 2. I want to emphasize again the whole area of listening. So my encouragement in helping a hurting person is to listen very carefully without interrupting or assuming that you know the problem or the answer before they have finished. Proverbs says, listen before you speak, for to speak before you've heard the facts will bring humiliation. In fact, the Message version of that says, answering before listening is both stupid and rude. Now, I have to put my hand up here and say that in my early ministry life, that's what I would do. I would jump ahead or jump into giving advice before I'd actually heard the person out. So to listen well is something I've learnt over the years. It's often a good idea to ask the person for a sentence summary of the problem and then possibly repeat back to that person what you have heard from them or what you think the person is attempting to portray. That brings a real conciseness to what's going on and allows the person to actually put all their thoughts into a sentence. Sometimes the person themselves is surprised because of what came out, and awareness can come even at that early point. Now this is a real big one. Avoid the temptation to take a person's side. You will often get one party, say out of a couple who are seeking help, and they can filter subconsciously what they're telling you. Proverbs 18:17 says this, there are two sides to every story. The first one to speak sounds true until you hear the other side and they set the record straight. Along with that, never take up offences for a person. Stay out of it, stay neutral. Avoid trying to counsel or help a person when a person is very emotional. In Proverbs 25:20 it says, singing light songs to the heavy-hearted is like pouring salt into their wounds. Of course a person needs to be comforted, but that may not be the time to deal with the issues involved. Wait until the waters are calm. I love this verse from the Passion Translation in Proverbs 20 verse 5. A man of deep understanding will give good advice, drawing it out from the well within. But sometimes this can take time, and if appropriate, set up another time to see that person. That will allow you to think and pray about the situation, and also possibly allow the person to find their own solution to it. Because after all, a person really only wants a listening ear most of the time. I wouldn't make the sessions very long. They don't necessarily have to be over 1 hour. Sometimes less than that is helpful. During your sessions with a person and helping them, it's often a good idea to inquire as to how many people they are talking to about their issue, because if it's a huge number of people or church leaders, then wisdom would say, look, you need to limit it to a few wise people. If a person is already getting help from their own church, they may not be in your church or in your environment, then it's a good idea to inquire into that as well. Are they already receiving counsel and advice, and have they already had a listening ear? And at times there is a place for directing the person gently back to the people who know them well. Never act as a go-between for people. In other words, you become a message carrier from the hurting person to another person. This invariably leads to misunderstanding and confusion, and you can get the blame because you never got it right. It's better for that person to see another person that they're concerned about. Maybe with facilitation or you in attendance. Also, never promise to keep the information you hear totally secret. If such a request comes at the start of a session or a meeting, then it's wise to advise that this cannot be guaranteed, as it depends on what will be said. There are laws in our country that if you hear something, sometimes you're obliged to pass that on. God bless you richly today.